All right, Caleb. So today I want to talk about the Princess Peach game, or as they're calling it, Princess Peach will star in an Untitled game, or whatever they put on their financial information, because this has to be one of the most interesting announcements out of Nintendo in a while, specifically, or at least out of that last Nintendo Direct in June. I haven't seen that many people talking about it. It kind of seems like it flew under the radar, but I'm actually very intrigued by this, who's making it, what the gameplay is going to be. It's very shrouded in mystery. They didn't really say much about it, so I wanted to have you on to talk about this game.
Yeah, it was like a really quick, like 20-second trailer or whatever. But it is kind of funny because the title that they're using right now is just Princess Peach will star in a new game or something like that. Like that's the title.
Yeah, they could have just called it Princess Peach game. We've had a Peach game in the past. If for those that don't know, Super Princess Peach on the DS. I'm not very familiar with that game. I do want to play it before this comes out, I think, just to get some perspective. But it's interesting just to see them do this because of, I imagine this was greenlit probably because of the Mario movie, right? Obviously, it's been in development longer than the Mario movie, but the Mario movie doing so well, that's not necessarily why they're making it. I shouldn't say that because clearly this was in development longer than that, but I don't know. I feel like Mario movie maybe was supporting their decision to branch out and give more characters kind of the spotlight, or even just the success of Luigi's Mansion 3. I mean, we recently found out that game has sold over 12 million copies, which is more than any Zelda game that isn't the Switch era Zelda, which is crazy.
I was gonna say it's probably more likely because of Luigi's Mansion 3 than the Mario movie. Now, obviously, Mario they knew would bolster the sales of the games, but Luigi's Mansion 3 probably did it more just because it's like another Mario game that's not starring Mario. And I feel like at this point in the Switch's life, they're sort of getting closer to winding down, so like they want to have some new types of games and stuff, so having a Peach game sort of makes sense there.
Yeah, I mean, and I want to do another video on this, but we've already gotten most our bases covered on Switch. Most people at this point are expecting the Switch 2 in next year, or 2025. We have most major Nintendo franchises kind of covered, so it's just nice to see them branching out and trying something a little different with this game. And the first thing I want to talk about is who's making it, because honestly, for me, until we see more gameplay, because we really didn't see much, this is the most interesting aspect to me as someone who follows Nintendo's development kind of cycles very closely. I've seen a lot of people saying that it might be Intelligent Systems, which we can talk about more in depth in a minute because of the Paper Mario cycle and how it's time for them to have a new game that's kind of like that. So maybe it's them. I've seen some people say it'll be Next Level. I think that's possible based on the graphical fidelity of the trailer we saw. Honestly, while watching the trailer before this video, I was kind of thinking, what if, kind of an oddball here, what if it's Good Feel? They do have that Goemon game coming out at the end of this year, but if it's a stage play aesthetic, it kind of fits them having like a crafty style. It probably isn't them, but what do you think?
I think I don't think that it's Good Feel. I mean, it could very easily be, but I also don't really think it's Next Level. Next Level seems like they probably would be working on either Luigi's Mansion or like some other sports game or something. I don't really think they would. Yeah, I don't think they would have made this. Luigi's Mansion 3 came out in 2019, right? So I guess it would have been enough time for them to make this game. Because
they also made Battle League in between, but that's a much smaller game.
But that's probably a separate team also anyway. But for this game, obviously they barely showed anything, but it's probably almost done, if not already complete. So like 4 years probably would have been enough time to make this, right?
Yeah, it's funny seeing people say, like, not for this game specifically, but typically when a game is revealed with very little, you're like, oh, that means it's early in development. Even though they didn't give this game a title, I'm not, I don't lack any confidence in this. The way Nintendo operates recently is usually when they announce a game, it's pretty close to being done. I think maybe they just saved the title for another marketing beat in September, most likely, and the release date as well. But yeah, I mean, going back to the Intelligent Systems thing, I think that does make the most sense, honestly. Like I said, Paper Mario kind of has this cycle where we get one traditionally about every 4 years. Now, Intelligent Systems does a lot of other stuff. They do WarioWare. More notably, they do Fire Emblem, although Koei Tecmo has been helping with that a lot recently. So Intelligent Systems, though, I feel like that makes the most sense because, I mean, we've been hearing rumors of a Paper Mario remake or, Thousand Year Door Report or something from them. That could happen to keep the Paper Mario cycle in line, but I definitely don't think we're getting a new Paper Mario next year. So whatever that team has been doing, I think based on what we saw of this, it is very possible it is the Paper Mario team.
Yeah, it could very well be. Paper Mario, it would be nice, I guess, to have 2 games, but it doesn't really need it on Switch. I mean, obviously, some people, Thousand Year Door Remaster or whatever, but I feel like this makes more sense. Only problem, I guess, would be like, then we'd have to wait even longer for another Paper Mario game. If that's the case, like if this is replacing it. But I don't really think that matters that much, to be honest. Paper Mario is like, it's a once in a generation type of thing anyway. So I don't think it would be that big of an issue.
Yeah, outside of a remake, I don't think we really need another one on the Switch 1. And I mean, maybe a Color Splash port would be nice. I don't loathe be Arlo for that one. But yeah, I think intelligent systems are next level. It has to be one of those two, I'd imagine. It could be internally developed, but just based on, and we'll talk about the gameplay now, what we saw of the gameplay, it feels like intelligent systems. So what we see in the trailer, the very short teaser, is just Peach walking on a stage. She does like a little attack, and there's a spotlight on her. And it's just a stage play, right? She has this companion. It looks like it kind of reminds me of the pixels from Super Paper Mario in a weird way. She's like, it's like a ribbon she has with her.
Yeah, you know what it reminded me? It reminded me of there's parts in Paper Mario 1 where you play as Peach like in the castle, and she's like exploring the castle like at night or whatever, and she's like trying to figure out a way to help Mario. I think this could be like a very similar type of thing. Not necessarily like connected to Mario himself, but like she's that type of adventure type of thing. Where it's not necessarily like a combat-based game or anything like that, or
It's
even
more
like an
maybe
RPG.
puzzle adventure oriented. Yeah, because we don't actually see her attack anything, but she does. Oh wait, no, we do see her attack. This little goblin. Here.
There are these new enemies. I don't know if they're completely new. They might have been in Super Princess Peach, but I don't recall seeing them. I never played that game.
I think all the characters we see in this are new.
Yeah, and I don't recall seeing them anywhere. It's possible that they are like a deep cut from some other game, but I don't recall seeing them.
Yeah, I do like the designs though. We see like the townspeople on the stage like cowering in fear while Princess Peach comes to save the day. And then yeah, they have like, it almost looks like a football helmet or something, and she attacks them and just erases them from existence here. So there's definitely gonna be some sort of combat, but it's not gonna be like Paper Mario where you encounter an enemy and like a whole stage thing happens and like you're just turn-based or whatever.
If it's gonna be like, if you're gonna compare it to any Paper Mario game, it'd be more like Super Paper Mario in terms of combat, I would imagine.
Yeah, definitely. Now, something I've been wondering is the scope of this game in terms of just how big it'll be. Do you think this is strictly like a what's the term here? Not 2D, because I mean 2D camera perspective. Do you think it'll strictly be a 2D camera perspective?
You mean just like how? You mean only what we've seen in the trailer, basically?
Yeah, and like yeah, Peach can move in and out of the foreground, kind of, but just 2D. Like the camera never moves behind her or above her.
I think probably the bulk of the game will probably be this camera angle, but it'll probably switch at some points as well. Like it'll be behind her at some point or something like that. But if it is a stage play, like it seems to appear, it's probably going to be this for the majority of the game.
Yeah. It'd be cool if you go like backstage and then the camera goes behind her or something.
Yeah.
There needs to be a backstage level. If there's not, there has to be. The next thing I want to talk about is what they tease at the very end, where Princess Peach has her little ribbon companion kind of swirl around her, and her dress starts to change. This has been like the main point of speculation for this game. She starts like glowing at the end, and her dress turns white, although that might just be the light of the glow. I don't know what this could do for gameplay. I assume she's just changing costumes. I would hope there's like some really unique ones, and it's not just color swaps. Maybe this gives her a different power?
It could be like a power-up system, but I think it's probably more related to the plot than like a power-up. I think it's like for example, in Color Splash, I know we keep comparing it to Paper Mario, but the point is, once you collect like a big paint star in that game, you can like some plot stuff happens basically. So I think that's probably like you got to like you beat a boss or something, and then this happens, and she has to like beat 6 bosses, and then her dress levels up or something like that, and she can save the day or something plot related like that.
Yeah. Do you think this will just be her saving Mario?
I don't think so. That seems too basic in my opinion. I haven't, like I said, I haven't played Super Princess Peach. I don't know what that game is about. It
I'm pretty sure it's about that.
It is about that. Well, I don't know. It seems like that would be too basic of a plot. Maybe that's like involved, but I feel like that's not going to be like the main point.
Yeah, I hope if it is her saving Mario, I hope there's more to it than just that. Like, I don't know, that'd be so boring.
It also would be boring because that's what Luigi's Mansion is about too.
Yeah. No, hey, if that's the plot, I think that means Next Level's making it.
Yeah.
They can't think of another plot.
That's the only plot they can think of.
Mario Strikers. For some reason, Mario's not in it. Like, we have to play football to save Mario. That's all they can think of. I mean, that's just basing it on Nintendo and how typically their stories are kind of basic. That's probably the safe assumption is that she's it's the safe assumption is that she's saving Mario. But hey, the Mario movie subverted expectations, so maybe not. I hope it's not just her saving Mario though. I hope they give a good reason for Mario not being here. Maybe since we're seeing Daisy playable in Mario Bros. Wonder, maybe Daisy could be in this game.
That would make sense.
I mean, she could even be playable. If they really wanted to go crazy, they could make her playable. Maybe it's a co-op game.
Could I think I don't really know about a co-op game, but I think Daisy would be nice to be in there. She'll probably be in there at some point, I imagine, because the game is about the princess. So it'd be nice to have her there.
That'd be crazy if Daisy's not in the game, actually.
Yeah, I don't know what she would do in the game, though, because I don't think she'd be playable.
She'll be the shopkeeper.
Maybe she's the one who has to be saved.
I'd be okay with that.
Yeah.
That'd be better than Mario, at the very least. Or, well, here's the real question. Is she actually saving anybody? Or is this actually just an act? Maybe she just got hired by this theater.
Yeah, maybe it's not even like a real plot. Yeah, it's just
yeah, she might not be saving anybody. I mean, that's very possible. It is actually a stage with spotlights.
Yeah.
So we'll see. The final thing I want to touch on, Caleb, is when do you think this game will release? They said 2024. That's all we know. I've seen some people saying. I feel like I say that a lot. I've seen some people say. Yeah. I feel like I've seen some people online saying maybe like later in 2024, but I think this will actually be, if not Q1, very close to it, like May at the latest.
Okay, well, here's the thing. I think the general idea is that Switch 2 would be coming out either late next year or sometime early in 2025 or whatever, right? That's what most people seem to think. This is the type of game that would not be on Switch 2, that would not be cross-gen. And I don't think Nintendo's going to launch like a game that comes out on Switch but not Switch 2 after the console launches. Not something like this. Like, this is probably going to be a $60 game. They might do like a $40 game that does that. Or maybe Pokemon would do that. But I don't think this game would do that. This is just a type of like late Switch game. So this will probably just be... It could be Q1. I feel like if it's going to be her first half, it's probably going to be like May or June.
Yeah. That probably makes a little bit more sense because you have to factor in Dark Moon, which they revealed next to it. Dark Moon, I would assume, comes first.
That would probably come
first.
That's
probably like I think that's like February.
Because the game is already mostly made. Obviously, they're upgrading the graphics and stuff, but the game exists already.
Yeah, and speaking of developers, it's possible Next Level's actually doing that as well. So they probably wouldn't have time to do this if they are. Because we don't actually know. I mean, it could be Grezzo. They have some 3DS porting work now.
I think it's more likely that Next Level is not working on Dark Moon. That's my opinion.
I hope they're not.
Yeah.
That'd be kind of weird. I don't think that Next Level needs to be working on any ports. Now, something else I've seen online is people thinking that this game might be a bit smaller scale. Like it's like a more budget title. Purely from a sales potential perspective. Not, because, we haven't seen enough of the game to really say like how big it'll be in terms of gameplay scope. It's probably, that in that regard, it's probably a little bit smaller maybe. But in terms of sales potential and expectation from Nintendo, I would imagine this game's pretty high up there, based on what we talked about earlier with Luigi's Mansion. Frankly, I think this game has more potential than that.
Think so? I don't...
Yeah, it's a Peach game.
Yeah, it is a Peach game. It's a Mario game, basically. I don't think it sells more than Luigi's Mansion, though. I don't think there's any chance. Except maybe Dark Moon, but not Luigi's Mansion 3. It's not reaching that, in my opinion.
I mean, it's definitely too late to reach that, for sure. I don't think it'll sell 12 million on Switch, but I think it could... Had like the releases swap places, just hypothetically here, I think this game would sell better. And I think if they like went up against each other, Peach would probably outsell it. I think the broad appeal of Princess Peach is so great. I mean, Luigi's Mansion's kind of a spooky game, Caleb.
Yeah,
Kids are scared of
Luigi's
ghosts.
Mansion's scary. I think there's a couple things that Luigi's Mansion just inherently might have over Peach is because, well, one, it's Luigi's Mansion's already established. That was the third game that came out, and this is like a new game.
Yeah.
But Princess Peach is something that might help. I don't know how much this would even affect it, but Peach seems like more like parents would buy it for their daughters compared to their sons. So I don't know how much that would affect the sales versus Luigi's Mansion.
It is funny trying to put into words how this game is probably a little bit more casual than Luigi's Mansion 3, when Luigi's Mansion 3 is a freaking Mario game.
Yeah.
So obviously it's already casual, but even on that scale, this will probably be a little bit more casual, I would imagine.
I don't know if that helps it
But,
though or not.
Yeah, I don't know. It's a Mario game. It's gonna sell like crazy
Yeah.
anyway. Switch software still flying off the shelves. Well, I think that's all we can really say on this game, Caleb. We don't have enough to truly discuss. I think we're both in agreement. It'll come out in September, though. Or sorry, we'll have more information in September in the next Nintendo Direct. So only a few weeks now, and we'll get that title, Super Princess Peach Ultra, or sorry, Untitled Peach game. They should call it that.
Untitled Peach game.
All right, Caleb, thanks for joining me. Of course, subscribe here for more Nintendo topics like each and every day. If you want to have Caleb on again, let us know in the comments down below. And of course, you can follow Caleb on Twitter at Caleb_Bravo99. Follow me on Twitter or X at Botox Games. Gotta remember that X.
Yeah, the X, that's the most important part.
All right, guys. See ya.
See you later.